Welcome to Introduction to Critical Race Theory. Critical race theory, like all other academic disciplines, may be thought of as a way of viewing, understanding, critiquing, and analyzing the world around us. However, critical race theory focuses its attention on law and highlights how race and racism is not merely the result of individual beliefs and attitudes, but that it is also embedded in law itself, as well as legal institutions and structures and public policy. In other words, whether you're Sandra Bland driving in her vehicle, or Tyreek Hill on your way to a world-class entertainment venue, or whether you're Christian Cooper birdwatching in the park, or Trayvon Martin walking in his own community, minding his business. Critical race theory, or CRT, simply advances that race and racism not only informs those particular and specific experiences, but also guides and informs all aspects of everyday life, both those which are seen and unseen. Accordingly, CRT is not just historical in its scope, it is also contemporary and helps us to understand the present predicament of society, particularly for Black persons and people of color. An example, the area in which I am standing used to be the Baldwin Hills Dam. However, the dam broke in December of 1963. Despite studies being done which indicated that building a dam at this site was not feasible, it was still built in service of a primarily upwardly mobile white community which was located in Baldwin Hills during the 1950s. It was built so that the community would not experience an inconvenience in receiving water. When the dam broke, the value of property in Baldwin Hills plummeted. White flight ensued, and Baldwin Hills became the Black community we know it as today. Questions a critical race theorists would consider are, what are the legal justifications by which studies were ignored and millions of dollars were spent to build the dam? What are the socio-legal mechanisms by which the community was deemed uninhabitable for white Angelenos, yet sufficient for Black Angelenos after the dam broke? In other words, critical race theory is not just about police interactions. It is also about understanding what mechanisms animate everyday life for Black people and people of color in the United States and toward what end. And on the other hand, CRT also seeks to answer the question of who benefits from the animation of those mechanisms and who, on the other hand, must carry, as scholar Danielle Allen terms it, the burden of democratic sacrifice so that the other group can benefit from those mechanisms. With this in mind, here are some guidelines that will inform our journey together. Lectures will be recorded in landscape as opposed to portrait. What this means is if you are on TikTok, you will see an option at the bottom of the video to flip the screen so that you may perhaps view the lecture better. 2. If you are on TikTok, lectures will be uploaded in divided parts in a dedicated playlist on my profile. If you are in Google Classroom, your lecture presentation will be provided in a continuous video. 3. Lectures will be uploaded on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. After doing the reading and watching the lecture, you will engage in discussion and comments with your peers in a designated assignment module within Google Classroom. If you are on TikTok, you will post under the video itself. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will pick a few questions to engage. On Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, 12 noon Eastern, I will be live on TikTok engaging with those who wish to attend for 1 hour. Think of this as our community time, where we can piece together situations currently taking place and map them onto the readings. 4. Make sure discussions are on topic and or theme from the lecture and or readings and are respectful. This is a learning space, so remember, engage the argument, not the person. 5. In the event that something takes place with TikTok, there is a contingency plan in place. This stated, our readings for the next 4 weeks are The Racial Contract by Charles Mills, Whiteness is Property by Cheryl Harris, Originating Standing Your Ground by Marcus Lee, The Combahee River Collective Statement, Demarginalizing the Intersection of Race and Sex by Kimberly Crenshaw, and The Meaning and Impact of Racism by Camara Harrell. All of these readings can be located online with the exception of the last one. So if you are auditing the class on TikTok, you will have some difficulty in finding that one, but don't worry, I will teach that particular lecture in such a way that you will still be able to access the information. So Welcome to Introduction to Critical Race Theory. Settle in, get comfy. We keep it real, we keep it respectful. Welcome to the experience.